it's no secret that airfares rise sharply during peak season. So if you're forced to pay more for a flight ticket, for example, in the last week of December to a holiday destination, it shouldn't be a major surprise. But this time round, we're seeing airfares go from high to skyrocketing. By some estimates, airfares have increased by an average of 40% in the month of December, but we break down key routes to show you that the price increase when compared to January this year is in some cases 70% higher, and for some international routes, more than double in just about 6 months. So, Delhi-Mumbai, for example, a ticket on average cost a little more than 5,600 rupees in January this year. By December, it's more than 9,600 rupees. International fares have seen an even steeper jump. Mumbai-New York tickets have increased by 152% between May and December, while Bengaluru to London has also more than doubled, up by 130%. Now, the steep increase has been questioned in Parliament today, with the opposition asking what happened to the promise that those with Hawai chappals will soon be using the Hawai Jahaz.
कि इन दिनों जब भी थोड़ा सा यात्रा का अनुपात बढ़ता है, टिकट इतने ज्यादा महंगे हो जाते हैं कि कोई कंट्रोल नहीं रह जाता। 5,000 का टिकट 20-20, 25-25 हजार तक में बिकता है। तो क्या माननीय मंत्री जी के पास इस तरह का कोई इसको लेकर के उपाय है प्राइवेट एयरलाइंस को कंट्रोल करने का, कि कम से कम टिकट जो है वो सस्ता रह सके और आम यात्री जो है वो हवाई जहाज का सफर कर सके?
सर, मैं सांसद महोदय को सूचित करना चाहूंगा आपके द्वारा कि शायद इनके वायर्स क्रॉस्ड हो गए हैं। ये मिक्सअप कर रहे हैं उड़ान योजना और साधारण टिकटों के आधार पर। उड़ान योजना के तहत वायबिलिटी गैप फंडिंग के मैकेनिज्म के तहत सस्ते टिकट दिए जाते हैं ताकि उस रूट को हम लोग वायबल कर पाए, और उसी के आधार पर 1 करोड़ 10 लाख लोग इस देश में हवाई सफर कर पाए हैं सर, जिन्होंने कभी भी कल्पना नहीं की थी। तो जहां तवज्जो दिया जाना चाहिए, मैं निवेदन करूंगा सांसद महोदय को, तवज्जो देनी चाहिए उनको। जहां तक उन्होंने विषय उठाया है कि टिकट के दाम बढ़े हैं, बिल्कुल सही कहा है इन्होंने, और इसका
Now in India, air travelers are facing huge problems, many kind of problems. First one, skyrocketing fare of air travelers. So these airline companies are exploiting the common people in different ways. So they are exploiting the people without any norms and regulations. Here my question is, sir, in India some sectors, they are charging for a short journey, they are charging about 25,000 rupees, sir. So here the question is, doesn't the government some sort of regulations is needed to bring a method into this?
I think it's extremely important to understand that the civil aviation sector is a seasonal industry. There are crests and there are troughs. When festive season starts in October all the way up till February is the high season of civil aviation. You then get into a little bit of a medium lull situation, and then the trough, which is the monsoon season, is really a wipeout season in terms of civil aviation is concerned. So there will be, because of seasonality factors, there will be pricing differences. Point number one. Point number two, sir, we also have to understand that the civil aviation sector has gone through possibly the worst time of any industry in the world during COVID. It was the only industry in which our planes were pretty much on the tarmac for almost 18 to 24 months. And the very fact that we've experienced a V-shaped recovery speaks great volumes of the resoluteness of our carriers and the capability to supply that service to our common man. ATF, which is a very important ingredient as a raw material, air turbine fuel, almost close to about 50% of a carrier's cost structure, has gone up from pre-COVID between 35,000 to 40,000 rupees a kiloliter to today's level of 1,17,000 rupees a kiloliter. So there's been almost a 2.5x jump in the main raw material in your cost structure, which comprises of almost 50%. That too has an effect on fares. And finally, sir, the civil aviation sector functions on what is called as a reservation bucket designator, RBDs, where if you book very far in advance, you will get very, very low fares. But as the plane keeps filling up, the fares certainly do go up, and that is an international practice that is followed all across the globe.
Okay, so let's break down those 3 reasons that the minister spoke about. Essentially, that there's a seasonality factor. There's been a COVID impact on aviation sector, and then ATF has gone up. That's air turbine fuel. And you will get low prices if you book well in advance. Let's examine these arguments one by one. So passenger numbers have jumped up to pre-COVID levels in a short period of time. But why are airlines and even airports unprepared? Shouldn't there be more aircraft out there if this is season time? Yes, the aviation industry suffered huge losses in the pandemic, but so did several other sectors. And the purchasing power of passengers has also been hit. Is it fair to recover at the cost of passengers who may not have many options? Remember, not everyone flies because they want to go to the next holiday. Sometimes it's an emergency. Let's look at the point of low prices available if booking done earlier. As per what the minister is saying, air turbine fuel prices have gone up 2x and constitute 50% of what the ticket costs. If that is indeed the case, why will this ease in the near future? Aren't we in then for a long haul of high fares? We're going to understand this whole issue very closely and minutely with our experts, but I want to first go across to Mr. V. Sivadasan. He's a Rajya Sabha MP and CPI leader who raised that question in the Rajya Sabha today. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Sivadasan. But I want to understand, what was the reason you brought up this question, considering that airfares do go up seasonally? Like the minister said, this is supply and demand. So if there's more demand in these times when there's a holiday season, prices are bound to go up.
During the time of the COVID, government has decided a basic fare for the airline companies. I think everybody remembering that. If government government has the right to decide the base fare for support the airline companies, then why government is not thinking to maximum fare for protecting the interest of the travelers? Here in this season, festival season and vacation season, these companies, airline companies, are trying to exploit maximum to the passengers. So these common passengers, they are unable to pay this huge amount as a fare, airline fare. Here, this flexi system, this is affecting workers, this is affecting students, those who are employing this far from their house, residents far from their village. These all are affecting very high manner. So my request inside the parliament and outside the parliament, I have already made to the government and the minister to consider the issue. The government for the people. So if government is working for the people, then why they are not considering the issues of the common people? Here, one side is air passengers issue, another side is the train passengers issue. Train also putting this flexi charge system. So for the train passengers, they are unable to pay this huge amount because premium Talkal system, flexi fare making system.
True, sir. But you know, we're talking about airfares right now because we have the Civil Aviation Minister's response to you, Mr. Sivadasan. Let me just pose this question to you. A big factor that Mr. Jyotiraditya Scindia spoke about was the price of air turbine fuel, which has in fact gone up massively in the last 1 year. It costs 50% of what the airlines have to pay. Now, considering they've been on the rise and these are international rates, what can the government do? Who will take that cost of high ATF?
See, when the petroleum, the price of the petroleum product is very less. During that time, the petrol price of the petrol is very high in India. So, what is the meaning of that? If the now when the market is increasing in international market, they are saying because of the international price rise, these all things are happening. When the price is going down in international market, then they are not saying anything. They are increasing the price. This is the situation in India. So now in this festival season, these companies, those who are running the airlines, they are trying to loop the people. So government should intervene these all issues. That is the duty of the government.
Okay, so you're saying the airlines are trying to loot the people. You feel there should be greater state intervention, but would that not skew an open market? What do you want the government to do? Do you want the government to go out and fix airfares now?
The first suggestion is protect the interest of the passengers.
But how?
Government should make the price cap.
Okay.
Maximum fare government should decide. Then second thing, government should make the appropriate steps. That is the duty of the government. The mechanism, government should make the mechanism and methods, not these other parliamentarians or common people. Government should make.
All right, Vaibhav Agarwal, Chairman of Yuva India Foundation, joining me on the show. Parvez Damania, aviation expert, speaking with us. Professor Manojit Mondal, spokesperson of the TMC, with me, and Jitendra Bhargav, former ED of Air India, with me on the show. Welcome to all of you, and thank you so much for joining us. Mr. Bhargav, let me begin by getting your take apart from the politics of it. We've heard what the minister said. We heard what the MP said in Parliament. But do you think this is business as usual hikes that we're seeing?
Have gone up because of the operational costs, as the minister very rightly said in the parliament. But in my opinion, the honorable member of parliament who raised the question needs to interact with the airline industry to get to know what are the economics and why are airlines losing money, why so many airlines have shut down, and to make a charge that airlines are fleecing is a totally preposterous charge that he's made. If airlines were making money, Indigo, the dominant domestic airline with 55% plus market share, wouldn't have been losing 10 crores per day. Now he has something, but minister, while giving a very reasonable answer to the member of parliament, missed out one opportunity, in my opinion. This was the time when he's, after stating that ATF accounts for 50% of the operational cost of an airline, should have got the attention of the members of parliament to say that the sale tax being charged by several state governments has been as high as 25 to 30%. And he should have pushed the GST factor, which the Civil Aviation Ministry has been trying for quite some time, but the state governments have been resisting because this is easy money. So it is not the airlines which are making money due high fares. It is the state governments which are making money, because the more flights you operate out of an airport, you consume more ATF, and they make
but Mr. Bhargav, it's definitely not an NGO. It's not like airlines are not making money.
No, this is what I'm saying. The minister, if the member of parliament was to have interaction, he would know that airlines are commercial organizations. They are not charitable institutions. He, as a member of parliament, voicing the opinion of his constituents, can certainly plead for a lower fares. But in that context, I said, let the state governments also sacrifice the huge sale tax revenue that they get out of sale of ATF at various airports.
I'm going to play out. We're going to run graphics which show you what exactly makes up the ticket price you pay. Yes, a huge part of it is the ATF, but then there are number of fees. You have this common user terminal equipment fee, you have convenience fees. If you book it online, then all of your aggregators are also getting a cut of that whole pie. So there is a lot of different components which add up to that cost. Manojit Mondal, what I don't understand is what the government of the day is expected to do. This is an open market. Mr. Mondal, yes. This is not a market where you determine how much a Bombay-Delhi ticket should cost. You will sink the airlines even faster than they already are if you do that.
I think these are Achhe Din for the government. Achhe Din that they have been promising for the last 7-8 years. So what can really the common people do? They'll have to suffer the consequences of these Achhe Din, where you rightly begin the show by saying the chappal pehne wala bhi hawai jahaj mein udege. ये तो अच्छे दिन का एकदम classic example है. And not just in the increase of airfare, in every aspect of our lives, starting from the kitchen to the railway fares, everywhere you find the price rise, skyrocketing price rises everywhere. The petrol prices, the gas prices, diesel prices, the cooking gas. I mean, you name anything that you need to, sort of lead your daily life, the prices are extremely high. So it's not just in one particular sector.
I'm not understanding what the government is expected to do about air turbine fuel.
The government has to
What can they do?
The government cannot do anything because the government doesn't know how to control the economy of the country as such. This is again, I repeat, I should talk about the political argument of it. What the government promised in the last 7-8 years, did the government deliver? The clear answer is clear no. The common people expect good days, achhe din, and that's why the government was voted into power 8 years ago. But they have terribly failed. It's not just I'll talk about the whole situation. Look at what is happening in the public sector company. LIC is being sold. BSNL is almost in coma. Everyone knows. Look at the banking sectors. The deposits rate, the savings deposits rates are decreasing day by day. And on the other hand,
let's not go all over the place. Vaibhav Agarwal, I'm talking about aviation right now. No, I'm talking about aviation today. I'm talking about airfares today. I'm talking about airfares today.
It's linked to the petrol prices.
You cannot, because it's not the same people who are suffering with high airfares versus other aspects. So we will have to talk specifically. We will have to talk specifically to some extent. It can't be a, free for all. Dal bhi mehenga, airline ticket bhi mehenga. That cannot be the discussion.
The minister has said it is linked to the petrol prices. Is it or not? It's linked to the fuel prices. So why can't the government control the fuel prices?
We don't produce any. We have to import it.
Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that.
I think, may I, Tamanna?
But
okay, one second. Vaibhav Agarwal wants to come in. Vaibhav Agarwal wants to come in. Vaibhav Agarwal, the point, okay, 1 minute. I know what you're going to say, Vaibhav Agarwal, so let me make it a little tougher for you. The point is, okay, ATF 50%, you cannot control. What about the taxes on ATF? What about the charges that private airports take?
We can.
What about all of that? Can the government today ensure that airlines are flying as per their full capacity, or are they purposely not flying more aircrafts so that supply is less, automatically demand will go up?
The government is already doing that, Tamanna, and I'm very glad that Parvez Bhai is here. 20 years ago, when he started Kingfisher Airline as one of the founder members, I was making routes I was a young guy 20 years back, and I was trying to consult to Kingfisher, and I was trying to consult to the then JetBlue, the economy airline that came in. Now, I'll tell you, Parvez Bhai will nod when I say that since then till today, it's an open market, A. B, routes decide the price, first of all. The fuller the aircraft gets, the higher the ticketing pricing goes. The lesser the aircraft is, the lesser the ticketing pricing will be. Now, the sectors are there that will play a major role. For example, Delhi-Lucknow still flies at about 4,500 rupees, 3,500 rupees, which is government controlled under the PM Udan scheme. Airport taxes form just about 7 to 8% of the total ticket price. What's not hurt the overall price. It is the ATF.
Go where nobody else wants to go. No, what's the point? Go where nobody wants to go. Then you won't pay as much.
1 second. No, that's not right. 1 second, may I? Today, I can fly you out and bring you back from Dubai or Qatar in about 35,000 rupees. And I can probably try and use my friendships at Indigo. And no, this year, right now at the fag end of New Year, just about 35,000 rupees at Qatar or Dubai.
I'm going to check the rates.
Just
can I say something?
35,000 rupees return. And I can actually put you in a VIP seat in the front row.
But Parvez, I'm coming to you 1 minute. I want Vaibhav to make more promises. 1 sec.
No, I can. Yeah. I'm telling you, 14,000 rupees one side. Indigo Airlines, 14,000 rupees one side. You can get fares as low as 12,000 rupees also. Right
what
now,
is this magic trick? I think we should change the topic of the show. to your
I'm
magic
coming
tricks.
to that. I think we need to know that Sivadasan, who's the member of parliament, is a Marxist MP who comes from a socialist mindset, does not know what it takes to, and the pain is felt by Parvez Bhai or the likes of Parvez Bhai, not the likes of me and you also, because we are just the ones who enjoy the facilities that the airline gives at the end of the day.
I mean,
it is the
I'm sorry.
interconnectivity charge which
I'm
eats
sorry,
onto the
I'm not
pockets.
feeling sad for Parvez Damania.
Let me say something.
Parvez, as much as I am fond of you, I'm not feeling sad for you. I'm feeling more sad for me. Because, if I want to get somehow a holiday and go somewhere in this seasonal period, I can't afford it. 1 minute. Okay, I don't know. 1 minute. Parvez Damania speaking. Parvez Damania, one sec. Let Parvez Damania speak. I'm not feeling sad for you, Parvez. Are you feeling sad for yourself?
Okay. No, that's okay. Let me say something. First and foremost, this is a free market economy. When airlines were losing money and almost closing down, nobody came forward to help. I am not saying, okay, let me tell you something. How airlines are surviving is beyond me. Today, let me bring this to your notice, and the Honorable Minister didn't mention this, but the other thing that's killing airline and hurting them very badly is the dollar going up. All costs of airline is in US dollar. The fuel is affected by the dollar. The spare parts is affected by the dollar. Another giant cost the airlines pays, the leasing cost, that is also in dollar. Maintenance is in dollar. Engineering cost in dollar. So I am surprised how airlines are still making money or how they are making it through. Today, during COVID, the kind of losses, a lot of industries suffered losses, but the kind of losses the aviation sector and the airlines have suffered is phenomenal. I'm so happy and thankful that some of the airlines didn't close down.
1 minute.
Again,
Parvez Damania, did they not get...
But let me tell you something.
1 minute. Parvez Damania, just one thing on the losses. Just one thing on the losses. Just to keep it in the train of thought. You're right, aviation sector.
They got no support from the government. They got no support from the government.
What was ELCGS? What was the credit guarantee scheme? What was the credit guarantee scheme? How many small businesses?
Listen,
how many small businesses shut down? No one asked them.
No, 1 minute. Actual
Didn't
direct
the aviation
support,
sector get an emergency-linked credit guarantee scheme from the government? Yes or no?
Yeah, they got, but in that scheme of the Honorable Finance Minister on the 7-day scheme, the airlines didn't get anything. Not only airlines suffered, every industry related to the aviation suffered. Now, my point is, even under normal travel days, in the evening, sometimes the fares do go up. It is not that they're just going up on the holiday season. They do go up. But this is a free market economy. Even hotel rooms, the same thing. Someday, Taj is selling hotel rooms for 6,000. Someday on weekends is 20,000. So we are in a free market economy.
We understand free market economy.
If the government says, okay.
Here the charge is their price
Nobody's
gouging.
fleecing the public, believe me.
But how can we just believe you or believe just the aviation minister?
Okay,
1 minute, Mr. Mondal. I want Mr. Mondal to come in.
We are only looking at
the question of free market economy. The question of free market economy. Isn't this, when will they make money, if not now? Mr. Mondal.
Really surprised and...
Correct. No, and that also I'm not sure if they're still making money in this situation.
Can I speak? If they're not making money,
they're still burning out.
They're surviving. They're still surviving because most of the aviation companies are connected to very big companies. Everyone knows that there are very few aviation companies.
Manojit, come on, they're connected to BJP, right?
Let him answer. Let him answer. Vaibhav, let him answer.
Take that allegation.
No. In this show, everyone listens to everyone. In this show, everyone listens to everyone because I want to make it worthwhile for viewers who have tuned in. Let him answer.
Sure.
What is his problem? I don't understand. This person, what is your problem?
Never mind, you speak on, sir.
For the aviation companies.
Aap apna boliye.
Literally extorting monies from the common people. If the government becomes a mediator, the broker between the company and the people, then it's a problem. What are you talking about? How many air aviation companies have been shut down in the last 2 years? I just want to know. except the government on...
Manojit, I need to tell you that it's not about politics. First of all,
Why
I'm
should
an
they be
active
shut
leader with
down? I
BJP.
think the aviation...
One minute,
one
one
second.
minute. Vaibhav, I'll come to
No,
you.
I
1
think
minute. I'll tell you. 1 minute. Yeah.
on except the government-owned company, how many private companies have been shut down? Please give me the statistic.
No, but,
the only
but
one
Mr. Mondal, why
that
do you
was
want them
shut
to shut down? Are you saying you want them
You
to
have
shut
to-
down?
No, because they are saying that they are surviving on losses. I'm contesting that. They
No, they are on
may
losses.
not have done.
That's a fact. They're not making profits. There is no aviation company in India that is
See,
making actual pure profits, including the #1 player. That's a fact.
Nonetheless, they have not shut down because they are connected to big companies. I mean, the only company that was shut down in the last 2-3 years is the government-owned company, Air India. Everyone knows that. My point is different.
Tamanna, this is too much.
Talking
No.
about the
Vaibhav,
price
I
of
will come to you. Let him finish his point. Yeah.
what is too much? You are in a civil debate. You are in a
No.
civil debate.
Manojit, don't try to teach me.
Mr. Manojit, can
Please
you
mind
make
your
your
own business. Don't
point?
try
Can
to
you
teach me
conclude
whether
your
I'm in a civil
point? What
debate
are you
or
trying
a
to
jungle
say?
debate.
No interruptions,
Manojit,
please,
no
gentlemen.
lessons from you, please.
It
Continue.
is related.
No lessons from you.
It is related to the loss of rupee in the global market, the loss of
Right.
economy in global market. Everyone knows this.
I think-
my friend who is
Okay.
an expert here,
Okay.
can be clear. Government
Okay,
cannot
so
control.
Jitendra Bhargav, apart from this, this is of course the depreciating rupee has had a large role to play. There is no doubt about that, because if all of your expenses are going to be in the dollar and the dollar costs more, it is going to cost you more. My question is that our airlines right now, and I'm going to ask this very clearly, are airlines right now taking advantage of the fact that there is a sense of revenge travel among Indians? The question is not to you. The question is to Mr. Bhargav. So allow him to answer, please.
Tamanna.
And let me complete the question. The fact that we're almost back, and in some days, some cases, exceeding pre-COVID levels, people have had enough. They just want to get out somehow. So you're seeing the demand. You're saying, let me cut the supply and up the prices. Make the most of it right now. I don't know how ethical that is, Mr. Bhargav.
No, but Tamanna, this is not a right prognosis of the whole issue at the moment. If at such high fares, high load factors, airlines are still not being able to make money, clearly indicate that they have no cushion for reducing the fares. So how do you make, since the politicians want the fares to be down for the good of the traveling public, the only way, if you can't reduce the operational cost, airlines on the factors like the ATF and the foreign exchange, the rupee depreciation, there are certain aspects that the government can look. But as I said earlier, one is the sale tax on GST can be reduced. The central government imposes a service tax on the sale of tickets can be reduced. Security payment should not be a factor for the passenger or the airlines. Let the state government bear that cost. And if the operational cost goes down, the fares will naturally go down. We are today in a scenario, the whole aviation business revolves around the airlines. Airlines don't make money, but everybody associated with it makes money, including the government, central government, the state government, the airports, and everybody makes money. So somebody has to question this. How do we reduce the cost, operational cost for airlines so that they can offer lower fares? And let's not also forget, there are occasions, as the minister said in Parliament, there are peak seasons and there are lean seasons. In lean season, the fares go down, even though the airlines sell the seats at a much lower level than the cost of producing a seat. They are losing even during that time. Now, how long or what proof should airlines give to the politicians and the parliamentarians when so many airlines have shut down in the 25, 30 years? Jet Airways, Kingfisher, professionally managed airlines.
Mr.
Good airlines would never
Mr.
make money.
Bhargav, the question to ask is, have we seen this kind of a jump in airfares commensurate in other countries?
Absolutely,
where the
yes.
global aviation industry has suffered massive
All over
losses.
the world fares go up.
Look,
Are
Tamanna,
we
I would
seeing
not like to
such
link-
a
I would
hike,
not like to
such a
link the
hike,
COVID
60,
period.
70%?
I'll tell you something.
Tamanna,
Fares
I would
in
not like to link
India,
the COVID period or the
our
losses
fares in
sustained by
India
the
are one
airlines.
of the lowest in the
Let's
world.
look at the
One minute,
operational
one by
cost
one,
as
one
of
by
today.
one, one by one, please. Let Mr. Tamanna finish his point. Yes.
Yeah, I'll tell you something. Fares go up all over the world. The price fluctuations occur all over the world. In holiday seasons, fares are up everywhere. I'll tell you something. India has shown phenomenal growth in aviation sector. The government should support it further and further because I think growth of the aviation sector is directly connected to the growth of the nation. The government, as Jitendra Bhargava said, the government should treat the aviation industry as an infrastructure industry, responsible and affecting the growth and performance of the country and the state. And as much possible, the state government and central government should support in reducing costs. Today, the airlines are running very, very fine operations and very, very tight operations. There are very, very few places where the airlines can reduce costs. The airlines are running a very, very tight ship, and the airlines are delivering exceptional service to the country
Parvez
and to the
Tamanna, I
flying
understand
public.
your sympathies for
another
the
thing, this is
aviation
a complete
industry,
misconception.
but you are first
This is a
saying
complete
that they
misconception
are
that people
barely
are gonna
surviving,
keep-
then you're saying they are thriving. So which one is it?
Correct.
Are they barely surviving or are they thriving?
No, I'm not saying thriving. The industry...
If the
No, no,
industry is
1 minute. The
thriving,
growth
if
is
passenger
going
load
up and up
factors
and
are
up.
back to pre-COVID
More-
levels, so that, I mean, the airlines can either be the
but
victims
still-
or the growth
but
engines.
still, they're not making enough money.
But is that the problem of the people of this
No, no,
country?
they are
Beyond
they
the
are
point,
growing
beyond the
very well,
point,
but-
businesses that cannot survive have to shut down. That's what happens in every industry. So they'll have to find a way.
We cannot allow an airline to shut down. We cannot, but that's what I'm saying, that the state government and the central government can chip in with their taxes. Let the state government reduce
So
the
there is a
sales
way.
tax on the fuel.
So you're actually,
the state government have been
you're
approached,
actually agreeing with
the
what
G-
what
there
what
is
the
a way,
MP
but there
said.
is a way, but I think
There
the
is a way.
government can come in.
Okay, okay, Vaibhav Agarwal, I want to come
The
in on that.
government is to step in to help us.
So the government can step in. They did recently to some extent when they cut the taxes on ATF. That led to some relief. Suppose I say, okay, I agree, it's all a given. Very high ATF, it costs so much, you have to pay for everything in dollar, rupee is depreciating, airlines can't do anything. Can nothing be done over here? What about the taxes on fuel? What about the hikes in convenience fees? There are reports that private airports now want to increase the amount that they charge per passenger because they also want to get their money's worth.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, Tamanna,
So my
well-
point is the airfare trajectory is on its way up. So let's dispense with this seasonal wala reason. It's not coming down anytime soon.
Yes.
So I'll tell you. I traveled to Dubai in September. I paid a fare of I think 36,000 rupees on Air India in business one side. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm just looking at it this year end. I'm looking at it about 40,000 to Dubai. So look at the fare difference. So that seasonality
40,000
is there on sectors, not
business
necessarily
or
every
economy?
time. For business.
Business.
For business.
Wow.
So yeah, I travel business, Manojit. You don't know anything about me. I'm a national leader with BJP and I run 13 companies. Okay? So do your homework right. First. Secondly, one second. Secondly, you are sitting there and bullshitting your
Why are
way
we,
I'll tell you, Manojit,
please,
you
no
don't
one
know
is
how-
interested
you
in your
have no
internal
knowledge
spats.
of the
1
subject
minute, 1 minute.
whatsoever.
Vaibhav
The
Agarwal, why are you
government
getting
airline
this? You
was sold
speak
by
what
the
I'm
government
asking
to
you,
the
right?
Tatars.
1 minute. Why are
government
you
airline was
getting, why
sold
are
by
you
the Tatars,
using your
sold by the
time to
government
start
of
a
India to
spat
the
with
Tatars,
another
not
guest?
shut down. And the reason
I didn't
Air
sit-
India, the homegrown airline, was bleeding is because there were government subsidies.
Mr.
And
Agarwal,
the
do you even
government
remember my
couldn't match up the
question? 1
service
minute. Do you
as well
remember
as-
my
as well
question?
as-
1 minute. Do you remember my question?
I'm coming to that.
What was it? What was my question?
We are talking about government support to the aviation industry,
Yes.
and if we can do furthermore,
No.
like cutting taxes.
Yes.
If we can do
if
furthermore
can
by
the
like
government
cutting
do
taxes?
something
Correct.
to reduce? Let me rephrase it
I'm coming
in
to that.
even more simpler
I'm
terms.
coming to that.
Can the government and should the government do something to reduce the burden on the passengers, where the airlines don't have to make a sacrifice because, as all of you all have explained, they can't afford to?
I'm coming to that. And the reason I brought up the Dubai example that I was doing, because I do a lot of to and fro between the two cities. So now that is one part. But I'll tell you, where Delhi, Hyderabad right now is 30,000 rupees, 25,000 rupees, yesterday's fare. There is Delhi Patna connectivity at 5,700. There is Mumbai Darbhanga. Who thought about it? Which is at 5,900 rupees. Patna Bangalore. Who thought about that route? 9,400 rupees. So it's not that pricing is overboard everywhere and airlines are trying to fleece the passengers. Airlines have a metric
what if someone
check.
has
now,
to
as
go...
far as the government is concerned...
You know what the flaw in that argument is? Because suppose they have someone sick at home and they have to hop onto a flight. Will they go Patna, Darbhanga because wahan pe fare cheap hai?
No, 1 second.
Or will they go at their houses?
There are exceptions. For exceptions, we can't hold ransom to the entire market. Let's not go that route.
Why are you assuming only rich people going on holiday who can afford it are flying?
No, that's not right. That's not right. However, I'm trying to say something. However, yes, the government can absolutely intervene at a policy level. And yes, that there are some discussions with the airlines from time on and time off, saying that can we make exceptions? Is there a methodology that can be reached out? And so far, in so many years of being a part of the industry myself, I have not been able to understand and see all views come together on a single platform. So yes, there is a discussion if we can make exceptions for such cases. However, it's a far-fetched idea. And thus, yes, where in Hindi it is said that when, what does it say? That something is always there and there is a collateral damage. So, okay, while we've said that, I've also brought to your notice that the government from time to time have brought finance available for different industries, especially after the COVID. There was a package for the aviation industry, including industries and the hospitality and travel industry overall, where the government extended assistance for funds, finances. The banks have a different outlook today with the restructuring that came in. Jet Airways has come back. No Indian Airlines has closed.
Jet Airways is not coming back, sir.
Exception, and
we'll have to wait and see if Jet Airways is coming back. I wouldn't count that chicken before it's hatched. If Parvez Zamania and Jitendra Bhargav know very well.
They're already taking routes.
Come on.
They're already taking routes now. You see,
Jet Airways are not clearing, sir. At least on these issues, don't give untrue information to me. Jet Airways is got a lot of hurdles to cross before they fly again. They've got a buyer. Their creditors are not accepting it. Okay.
No, Tamanna, the commercial bookings are not being taken on Jet Airways right now because it's still under testing on routes, but they're flying.
Sir, do you know?
They already
the creditors of Jet Airways have not accepted the new buyers. Yes, Mr. Damania, what did you say?
Absolutely.
I didn't hear
Jet Airways is not coming back. There are too many grey areas.
Everyone knows Jet Airways is not coming back.
To come back.
I mean, unfortunately, now Vaibhav Agarwal is sitting with two aviation experts and someone who covers the sector. So you can't just make any, we have to stick with the facts. I'm going to end this here. The one takeaway I think everyone can agree on, that there is scope for relief for passengers when it comes to taxes, when it comes to convenience fees, when it comes to those add-ons. And maybe there is need for scrutiny on whether airlines have done their job. Did they hire back all the people they sacked during COVID-19 pandemic so that they can fly as many flights as they should, so that there isn't a supply constraint? Have we checked that? Is Civil Aviation Ministry checking that? Are they actually doing something to ease the supply chain constraints that airlines face so that all their flights can fly? If there's enough supply, there might be, a less hike in prices. Let's ask the serious questions. Let's hope there is actually something that comes out of this discussion in Parliament as well.